Good day, everyone, especially to you, ma'am. I'm Criscia Autentico, and today I'm going to discuss to you the Chapter 16 of Philippine Tourism Laws, which is the formalities of entry in and exit from Philippines. But before that, allow me to read this first. I love this country. Tropical climate, warm and hospitable people, affordable standard of living. I can live here comfortably. It is according to David Batchelor, General Manager of Peninsula Hotel. And now let me introduce to you to our topic outline. First is admission requirements. Second is exclusion of foreigners. Next is deportation of foreigners. Next is detention of the foreign travelers. And lastly is the exit requirements. By the end of this chapter, our learning objectives are identify various government requirements for foreigners to enter the Philippines, explain the importance of valid passport when traveling, enumerate the privileges of Filipinos covered by the Balikbayan program, and lastly, discuss the dual citizenship law. The entry and admission of foreigners in the Philippines are matters of privilege because every foreign state has absolute and exclusive power of government in its own territory. Although entitled to all the rights and privileges of friendly guests, they cannot claim the right to enjoy privileges which by their nature belong exclusively to the host. For our first topic, which is the admission requirements, in Section 10, non-immigrants must present for admission into the Philippines unexpired passports or official documents in the nature of passports issued by the government of the countries to which they owe allegiance or other travel documents showing their origin, identified as prescribed by regulation, and valid passport visas granted by diplomatic or consular officers. Non-immigrants must present unexpired passports and valid visas prior to their admission into the Philippines. The Philippine Immigrant Act provides 7 visa categories for non-immigrants, namely the temporary visitor, transient, seaman, treaty trader, or the treaty investors. Next is the foreign government official. Next is the student, and lastly the prearranged employment or an alien is allowed only one immigrant visa category at any given time. In the admission requirements, we have the admission of aliens under prearranged employment, admission under the Balikbayan program, Philippine immigration policy and the non-immigrant Chinese, and Philippine immigration policy on Indians, lifting immigration registration on South Africans, passport requirements for the Philippine passport, fantasy passport or the camouflage passports, and the visa requirements. For our next topic, which is the exclusion of foreigners, in Section 29, letter A, the following classes of aliens shall be excluded from entry into the Philippines. First is the idiots or the insane persons and persons who have been insane. Next is the persons afflicted with the loathsome of dangerous and contagious disease as epilepsy. Next is the persons who have been convicted of a criminal involving moral turpitude. Next is the prostitute or the procurer or persons coming for any mortal purpose. Next is the person likely to become public charge. Next is the pauper, vagrants, and beggars. And next is the persons who practice polygamy or who believe in or advocate the practice of polygamy. And lastly is the persons who believe in or advocate to the overthrow by force and violence of the governments of the Philippines, or constituted law and authority, or who disbelieved in or opposed to organized government, or who advocate the assault or assassination of public officials because of their office, or who advocate of teach principles, theories, or the ideas contrary to the Constitution of the Philippines, or advocate or teach the unlawful destructions of property, or who are members of affiliated with any organization entertaining or teaching such doctrines. For our next topic, which is the deportation of foreigners, in Section 37, letter A, the following aliens shall be arrested upon the warrant of the Commissioner of Immigration or any other officer designated by him for the purpose and deported upon the warrant of the Commissioner of Immigration after determination by the Board of Commissioners of the existence of the grounds for deportation as charges against the alien. Any alien who enters the Philippines after the effective date of this act may by means of false and misleading statement or without inspection and admission by the immigration authorities at the designated port of entry or at any place other than at the designated port of entry as amended by Republic Act Number 503, Section 13. Any alien who enters the Philippines after the effective date of this act who was not lawfully admissible at the time of entry. Any alien who after the effective date of this act is convicted in the Philippines and sentenced by a term of 1 year or more for a crime involving moral turpitude committed within 5 years after his entry to the Philippines, or who at any time after such entry is so convicted and sentenced more than once. Any alien who has convicted and sentenced for violation of the law governing prohibited drugs as amended by Republic Act Number 503, Section 13. Any alien who practices prostitution or is an inmate of house of prostitution or is connected with the management of the house of prostitution or is a procurator. Any alien who become a public charge within 5 years after entry from causes not affirmatively shown to have arisen subsequent to entry. Any alien who remains in the Philippines in violation for any limitation or condition under which he was admitted as a non-immigrant. For our next topic, which is the detention of foreign traveler. Section 25, for the purposes of determining whether aliens arriving in the Philippines belong to any of the classes exclusive or excluded by the immigration laws. The examining immigration officers may order such aliens detained on board the vessel, bringing them on such other place, or the officer may designate such a detention to be for sufficient length of time to enable the officers to determine whether they belong to an excluded class and their removal to such other place to be and at the expense of the vessel bringing them. Under the Section 6 of the Philippines Immigration Act of 1940, immigration officers may detain aliens on board the vessel conveying in the Philippines. The detention shall be for a sufficient period of time to enable the immigration officers to determine whether the aliens concerned belong to any to the excluded or excludable classes in Section 29, or the alien concerned may apply and qualify for waivers of the exclusion from the Commission or the Commissioner of Immigrations. And now for our last topic, which is the exit requirements. In the Section 22, letter A, any alien about to depart from the Philippines temporarily or for permanent residence abroad shall, before leaving the country, apply to the Commissioner of Immigration for a clearance certificate. If the Commissioner finds that the applicant has no pending obligation with the government, its instrumentalities, agents, and subdivisions, and there is no pending criminal, civil, or administrative action which by law requires his presence in the Philippines, the Commissioner shall issue the certificate upon surrender of the alien of all other certificates previously issued to him by the Bureau of Immigration, shall his admission and or residence in the Philippines, added pursuant to Republic Act Number 144, Section 2. No foreigner shall depart from the Philippines except at the port of departure and unless there has been issued a valid immigration clearance certificate or a certificate of exemption in his favor. Failure to comply in this penalized by the Immigration Act. The immigration clearance certificate allows immigration authorities to monitor all the departure of the aliens from the Philippines and is one major source of income for the efficient administration and enforcement of immigration laws and rules and regulations. The following are exempted from securing immigration clearance certificate. First is alien departed from the Philippines or aliens under deportation proceedings who are given permission to depart at their own expense in lieu or deportation to specified destination and are departing to such destination. Second is alien minors under 14 years of age, and lastly is the alien transient or temporary visitors staying in Philippines for less than 15 days. And that's all for my report. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something. Thank you. Again, I'm Criscia T. Have a good day.